Okay, welcome everybody to our team call. It's so fun to have you guys all here. Today, or we're just going to skip through announcements because there's nothing really that new or pressing. Don't forget the National Wake Up Call on Mondays, or you can listen to the recordings in the podcast app. Those are always really good. I actually just listened to one from a few weeks back by Carl. It was a really good one. So if you haven't listened to that one, it's a good one. Okay, so tonight we thought we would talk about Shakeology because we do talk a lot about it with people that go through our groups. And before we get into this, and since Shakeology, the formula has been changed, they've announced some new flavors, we thought we would just kind of do a call on Shakeology. But before we get into just kind of like some of like the details, I want to preface it by saying this is not the type of stuff that sells Shakeology, and it's not about the facts, it's not about the ingredients, even though all that stuff is important. It's all about the most important thing you can do is share your own experience. So share how it's made you feel, and how it's made you feel, what its difference it's made for you. For me, I always like to talk about my decrease in cravings. And my increase in energy. So it's the most important thing you can do regarding Shakeology is share your own experience. However, with that being said, it's also super important to be educated. Darren Orlean has a really great Shakeology podcast. Highly recommend listening to the Shakeology podcast. He also has his own page. I'll need to look up the name of the page. I can't remember what it is now. But he does some great stuff. He's one of the creators of Shakeology.
And just on the podcast app, Inside Shakeology is a channel where they have, I think it's 12 or 13 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, and I hear it's really good. I haven't listened to all of them, but yeah, it's really super important to be educated and just to kind of know what it is that you're talking about. It's still okay to say, if you don't know the answer to a question, to say, I don't know, I'll get back to you. But it is always feels good to be armed with knowledge. So, as you guys know, they did just announce 2 new Shakeology flavors, vegan vanilla and vegan cafe latte. So, which is super cool. I know that people have been waiting for vegan vanilla for a long, long time, and Darren Orlean said that they've been trying so hard to get it done, but there's just so much that they have to go through in order to ensure that the ingredients are quality ingredients, that they are actually he tried to explain that even though the package doesn't say that it's organic, the reason why is because a lot of the ingredients are from exotic countries, and so it's really hard to be able to certify them organic because they are from so far away, they're outside the United States. However, he travels to all of these plants, all of their resources, all of the people that their vendors, to make sure that in fact that the ingredients are top quality ingredients, that there aren't any harsh chemicals or pesticides or any of the junk being put on them so much of our food contains. And so technically it is organic, but it can't be certified organic because of the locations that these ingredients come from. So what they've done is added 2 new ingredients to all of the Shakeology flavors that will be coming out. I would imagine they're probably going to, probably be seeing it in the next couple of months in your Shakeology shipments. But one of the things that they've added and that he's been pushing to add for a long, long time is called chaga mushroom. And the reason why it's difficult and they couldn't do it from the beginning is it's like a wild mushroom. And it's usually gathered in the wild. It's usually used for medicinal purposes. They've been using them. He kind of referred to it as the king of mushrooms. And so this particular mushroom that's going to be in all the Shakeologies, he says it supplies and amps up the antioxidant capability of Shakeology, and it also increases your immune support. So he said that this is probably along with he said specifically about the cafe latte. He said the chaga mushroom mixed with the coffee fruit makes it one of the most powerfully nutrient-dense foods, is what he said about that one in particular. He also talked about how the chaga mushroom also helps lower your LDL, so your bad cholesterol. It just is jam-packed full of all sorts of things. So the chaga mushroom has been included in all of the Shakeology flavors. And then they've also added, it's called maca green tea. So what they're doing is they're taking out the regular green tea and they're using this particular green tea leaf because he said that it has 100 times more oxidants than just the regular green tea leaf that they were already using. He said it contains catechins, is that how you say it? Which what that does is it helps you to fight diseases, and it also helps to detox and cleanse your body. And it helps to support just your natural body's energy. So what happens is with the addition of these two new ingredients, they had to kind of change the formulation of all the other Shakeology ingredients, because he said just because you add in good things doesn't mean that it's going to be a well-rounded product. And so what they ended up doing is then also adding in organic cane sugar. So what he said is, he's like, don't freak out about the sugar grams going up. He said, actually in vanilla, it went down an entire sugar gram. And so he said the reason why they use organic cane sugar is it's the most raw form of sugar that you can actually use. And so he's like, it's not like brown sugar, which is actually just stripped down white sugar with molasses in it. It is just kind of like the best sweetener that you could possibly get from nature. That it's super eco-friendly. They don't process it. And in this sugar, it has 17 amino acids, 11 minerals, and 6 vitamins, just in the organic cane sugar itself. And he said even the sugar that is put into Shakeology counts for a very teeny tiny part of the actual sugar gram contents of the package. A lot of the sugar content comes from just the fruits and the different minerals and stuff that they put in. He said this organic cane sugar actually lowers the glycemic index of the product. And so that will be super helpful with anybody that has sugar imbalances. He said, let's see what else. That it not only lowered the sugar, but it increased the fiber as well. And so he was talking about how fiber is like kind of the unsung hero of our nutrition and how super important it is to make sure that it's all about fiber. So basically what these 3 new ingredients in the Shakeology formula are going to do is increase the prebiotics, probiotics, and the digestive enzymes within it, and also help with, once again, goes hand in hand with the fiber content of Shakeology. So some of the questions that he was asked is he talked about how, a lot of times people ask, what's the difference between the regular formula of Shakeology and the vegan formula of Shakeology? And the biggest difference is, one, in the regular Shakeology, it is whey-based protein. Which is great, but there's a lot of people that can't handle the whey. Like for me, it makes me super sick. But then the vegan Shakeology is all plant-based protein. So that's one difference. And then the second difference is in the regular Shakeology, they also add in extra vitamins and minerals that don't just come from the plant sources and the fruit sources and everything that they use naturally. They add in, they just kind of amp it up and make it extra boosted with vitamins and minerals, whereas in the vegan formula, they don't do that. It all comes strictly from food, like from the fruit and from the plants that they use in it. Let's see what else. He was also asked about the folic and the folate acid in Shakeology. I don't know a whole lot about that, but they did ask if they were working on changing that, and he said yes. I know that some people have had some issue with the folic acid that's in it, but he said they are working on switching that over. It just depends on, once again, like the producers of and their vendors and everything. Let's see. What else did I write down? About the organic. And basically what he said in the end is he said, the reason why we need Shakeology is because we are basically lacking nutrients in just our general diet as it is. And what Shakeology does is it replaces those nutrients that our body's naturally lacking. And so I mean, that's why their tagline is, a daily dose of dense nutrition, because that's exactly what our body needs. So that's just kind of like a little background of kind of what we're looking at with the new flavors as well as the new formulation. I hear that they taste really good. I've yet to taste them. I'm hoping that this next week when we're in Dominican, we'll be able to taste the new flavors. But I hear that they still taste really great, and that it's just increasing the nutritional value within Shakeology. So, but like we said at the beginning of the call, this stuff is important to understand. It gives you knowledge, it arms you with understanding, but this is not the type of stuff that you want to lead with, that you want to tell people, oh, well, Shakeology does this, 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 and this. Like, they're not going to care. Like, that's just a product. It's super, super, super important that when talking about Shakeology, that you share your heart, just like sharing your fitness journey. It's about sharing how it's changed you, why you like it, what difference it's made. Does your family drink it? Why it's important to you to continue to order it? That's the kind of stuff that people really want to know, is how it's going to make them feel different. So that's kind of like a little synopsis of Shakeology. Al, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. So something, when I've been doing the beginning video in our challenge groups about the container system and Beachbody on Demand and meal planning, stuff like that, I've started giving, when I start that video for them, I give 4 nutrition tips. And one of them, I say, start drinking your Shakeology now. And then I'll make sure I validate how they're probably feeling, because I know when my coach told me that in my first group, I literally rolled my eyes, feeling like she was saying, I don't know, she was just trying to sell more to me, because I didn't get it, so I was like, whatever, Tiffany, drink your Shakeology, okay, whatever. And I wanted them to know that that's how I was in the beginning too. And I don't dive deep into the details of Shakeology, but they've already purchased Shakeology. So it's important, if you want them to be long-term customers, that they know what they're putting into their body. And so I feel like a good get-go, just at the beginning of the group, and then capitalize it throughout your group, what's in Shakeology. I've started saying, just saying right up front, Shakeology is expensive. Acknowledge that, because it's not. There's no getting around that. Shakeology is expensive. And then tell them why. And you guys, I do this in 3 minutes. I'm not saying you have to go on forever, but just saying, it's not a regular protein powder. If you're wanting just protein, then go to Costco, or you can get a cheaper vegan protein on Amazon, but Shakeology, we're focused on making your insides healthy, and especially your gut. There's so much in Shakeology that's to do with your gut health. And I talk a little bit about how your digestive system takes up to 50% of your energy. So that's why when you go out and you eat McDonald's and fry, you feel gross and sluggish and tired, because your body's working so hard to digest all that. But with Shakeology, you're getting the foods that you need to not only help your digestive system, but all of your systems in your body work better together. And just, that's it. That's all I say. But I feel like briefly touching on how it's not just a protein powder, and then you can capitalize on all the details and stuff and facts and all that throughout the group. But I just feel like acknowledging that right out the bat, or off the bat, so they know what they're putting into their body. Does that make sense? I didn't used to do that, but the last few groups we've been doing that, and people have said, oh man, thanks for answering questions I didn't even know I had about Shakeology. People think it's just a protein shake. So it's important that you let your challengers, your customers, know that they're getting more than just a protein powder. So
totally. Well, and I think too that Darren Orlean, once again, was actually saying, there's going to be, and there already are, and there will continue to be more knockoffs, Shakeology knockoffs. I have people all the time saying, well, I found this and it's just the same as Shakeology, but it's way cheaper, kind of a thing. And he's like, there are a lot of people out there that are trying to recreate it for less expensive. And he's like, they think that they're grabbing our vendors and they're, using some of the same vendors that we do and stuff. And he said, the thing is the difference between that product and our product is the other product is going for price. They're trying to find the cheapest possible ingredient that will do sort of the same thing. And so he said, but we go to every single one of these plants, we go to every single one of these, pieces of land where this stuff is grown to make sure that there's not junk being put on the plants or in the soil or anything like that that's going to harm your body, because we already have enough food in our life, in our world, that's putting really bad junk in our body without us even knowing it. And so he said, that's the biggest difference between this cheaper version and our version, is we know exactly where ours is coming from. We know that it's clean. We know that there's not pesticides in it. We know that it's going to offer you the nutrition that we say it's going to. It's not just a pretend, vitamin or a pretend source that's going to sort of offer what they say it's going to offer. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of people, like I even was in Walgreens the other day and saw like a knockoff of the 21 Day Fix containers, and it just kind of made me laugh, because I was like, we've been doing this for how long? And there's always going to be knockoffs of something. And, I'm all for people finding what works best for them. And I think that's great. But you will, if you haven't yet encountered well, I found this and it's just as good, why, and it's less expensive kind of question. And he addressed that really well with, you need to know where your nutrition's coming from in order to feel good about what is happening in your body. So that was interesting to me. But
I think too, another thing that just came into my mind in my intro video, it's important to, I feel like, help people realize they can type out their why and stuff, but so many people go back to the scale, because you do too, right? Like you default to that base thing you've been sucked into your whole life. You default to the scale or whatever. And I feel like validating all of their concerns, which were one time your concerns in that intro video, is important. So like saying that Shakeology is expensive, but then giving a reason it's expensive and talk about it for a minute, then I'll say, but you know what? Like when I first joined, when I was in your spot, I thought healthy was eating a certain number of calories. That's what I thought health was. As long as I stayed in between this amount of calories, no matter what they were, I was healthy. I didn't understand food had nutritional value. And I know that sounds stupid, right? You're acknowledging probably what they already think, right? But you're kind of being self-deprecating, but letting them know that, that it's okay, that they used to think that way too. And then I'll go back to Shakeology too and say, and every family's gonna be different, but my family, there's so much cancer in my family that I'm feeling like I really need to be worried about health and not the scale now. Like, going back, trying to reinforce to them their why is health, and then talk about, and I sell Shakeology, but have them to really understand like why they're drinking it. And that's why I drink it every day, is because I want to be on this earth for as long as I can. Right. And so, I think just always tying Shakeology back to health and validating any sort of concerns they have in the beginning that were your own is important, if you're wanting a customer. So did that sound totally salesy? I'm not trying to say that like you need to say that to get a sale. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, right? I'm coming across. Okay, good.
totally. I love that. And you're really good at connecting facts to like your heart, and into like everyday things that can be related to that. So I think that was really good insight. So,
well, if you don't want to feel like a salesman, that's what you have to do, you guys. Like so many new coaches are nervous because they don't want to come across as salesy, right? But as long as you tie it back to your why, like then you don't come across salesy at all, because you're just telling your story. That's why we talk about sharing your story, and why so much of the training is on how to share your story the right way, is so you don't feel like a salesman. It's like, did you listen to Shalene Johnson's National Wake Up Call? She talked about this exact thing with the April promotion going on, about how to basically be a storyteller. So you're never a salesman. Like if you feel like you need to be a salesman to be a coach, then you have the wrong ideas. Like you're just sharing your heart, sharing your story to try to help people that way. So anyway, that was a tangent.
That was awesome. All right. Well, do you guys have any questions about Shakeology, story, anything? Any questions?
Did you guys see my name?
Yes, we did. All right. Well, short, sweet, and to the point. So thank you guys so much for being here. We will not be having a call next week because Allie and I will be out of the country. But we will then resume the following Thursday. We'll be back on Thursdays again. So anyway, we think you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.